Coming to live from Nairobi, Kenya, this is TV47 Weekend. To topics this evening. Tonight, candidates to start writing the new Kenya Primary School Education Assessment exam.
Chemorongyon is hosting other pupils from almost 6 schools due to pandatory.
The exam will present a litmus test for CBC, even as stakeholders around the country debate the curriculum's future. Azimio leader Raila Odinga announces that the coalition will hold mega rallies countrywide to protest plans to kick 4 IEBC commissioners from office.
It is now known worldwide that these people lost elections badly and that they stole these elections. But now we cannot accept that on top of that they will add insult to injury.
And in our special feature, we highlight cases of buildings under construction collapsing.
If it's the regulation ama regulatory authorities, ukienda kwa site upata ni vitu different na what was brought to your nini, unaona? Mbona mlikubali waendelee na kazi, unaona? You find that unapata hata nyumba imewekwa X na bado inaendelea tu.
Good evening, hello there, and welcome to TV47 Weekend. Once again, Catherine Simoloi is on the Sun Language docket. I'm yours truly, Stanley Irigita. Now, Class 8 and Grade 6 candidates will begin writing the KCPE and KPSEA exams tomorrow. Over 2.5 million candidates have registered to sit for the two examinations. 2 million candidates have registered to sit for the two examinations. Meanwhile, in parts of Baringo County, examination centers have been merged after bandits destroyed infrastructure in some schools.
The examination season is here. And this time, as opposed to 2 national examinations that Kenyans are used to, there shall be a third examination that grade 6 learners will be writing. The over 1.28 million candidates registered for the Kenya Primary School Education Assessment KPSEA brings the total number of candidates this year to over 3.4 million. On Monday, KCPE and KPSEA candidates will begin writing their exam. But in Baringo County, there is a special arrangement for candidates after bandits destroyed infrastructure in some of the schools.
Na tumekusanyika mahali pale kwa sababu mashule zetu kama Kabindasum na Harabal, hata na Kasiala licha kuwa imefunguliwa, ni kwamba vifaa vya shule viliharibiwa na wakora. They were vandalized. And so the infrastructure requires a lot of rehabilitation. And also provision of desks, provision of office furniture, repairs of roofs and walls, repair of toilets. Those some toilets, we'll have to construct new ones. Imebomoka yote.
Chemorongyon is hosting other pupils from almost 6 schools due to pandatory. Psychologically, they have been affected by this pandatory. And we saw it good as a team of leadership from national, from county. Politicians also, we came together to pray with them and to encourage them as they start these exams.
Schools affected in the merger are Arabal, Chebinyin, Kapindasum, Kasiala and Chemorongyon. Sharon Baranga, TV47.
Thank you, Sharon, for that. Now to some matters politics. With the Kenya Kwanza government yet to clock 100 days in office, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has denounced claims of a fallout between him and his boss, William Ruto. Speaking in a church service Sunday, the second-in-command defended the head of state over accusations that he had become a puppet of the West in the recent past, following his diplomatic forays and partnerships with America and Europe. Mike Kagwongo with the details.
Barely 3 months into their leadership, the Kenya Kwanza government leaders have come out to defend their relationship with local and international partners. Speaking during a church service at Sitam Karen in Nairobi Sunday, the second in command assured Kenyans that he and Ruto were still close buddies and were determined to deliver to the Kenyan people.
Now that you are succeeding and the world has accepted you and accepted your leadership and they are responding to your various engagements, that William Ruto is a puppet of the West. We have told them, President William Ruto has the exclusive mandate from the people of Kenya to engage the West, the East, the North, the South, and anybody who means well for this great country.
Gachagua accused the opposition of discrediting their partnership, consequently asking Kenyans to ignore reports making rounds that the two top officials were reading from different scripts.
We want to ask the people of Kenya to ignore such. The Ruto administration is solid, it is focused on service delivery, and will not be distracted by propaganda, by innuendos, and things that do not make sense before the people of this country.
This was after reports circulated that the president had disagreed with his deputy over top state appointments at the State House. Gachagua has also asked his boss William Ruto to be alert because his distractors had not given up and had now regrouped to fight his administration. President William Ruto said his government is focused on service delivery and will not be distracted by those in the opposition.
Set a new record for ourselves that we have come of age. Our democracy is now mature, that we can go to elections, vote, go back to work, and wait for the results of the election in a peaceful, tranquil manner. Again, we thank God for giving us a peaceful election in our country.
The head of state intimated that his government will not lock out the opposition from state affairs, but will allow them to perform their oversight role.
But you know, this is, everybody is doing their job, I think. I think the opposition is doing their job. The executive we will do our job. The judiciary will do their job. But as the Bible says, all works well for the good of those who trust in Jesus. I am sure that all these will work well.
Ruto said he will build the foundation of the country around things that matter and won't leave any region or community behind. Mike, Kagwongo TV 47, Nairobi.
Now, as the four commissioners from the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission await the fate on the four petitions seeking to oust them, Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party leader Raila Odinga has announced a series of mega rallies in major towns to defend the four, even as Kenya Kwanza leaders put him on notice. Collins Lusweti with more on that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Days after Raila Odinga announced that Azimio la Umoja will stage a pushback against the Kenya Kwanza regime for allegedly returning the country to dark days following the ongoing process to oust the four dissenting IEBC commissioners, the ODM leader is now back at it, calling for a mega rally this Wednesday at Kamkunji grounds in Nairobi, in what he says will be a forum for members of the public to have their say on whether the four commissioners should be sent back in.
This is not acceptable. And therefore we have said we are going to consult widely with the people of Kenya. We will begin in Nairobi on Wednesday. We will have a meeting with the people of Nairobi at Kamkunji grounds to ask them if they accept that these commissioners should go home.
The four, led by Vice Chair Juliana Cherera, Commissioners Irene Masit, Francis Wanderi, and Justice Nyang'aya, are expected to appear before the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee of the National Assembly starting tomorrow, following four petitions seeking to remove them from office after the four rejected the hotly contested August 9th presidential election, in which IEBC Chair Wafula Chebukati declared President William Ruto the winner. Raila Odinga, however, maintains the entire process to oust the four is politically motivated.
As you know that this regime, which came into power through the rigging of the elections, is now hell-bent in trying to send home the commissioners who stood firm on the platform of the truth. And we have said that this is not going to be acceptable. People of Kenya will not accept it.
But in a quick rebuttal, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has told off the Azimio leader on the matter, sending a strong warning about plans to hold street demonstrations.
Same people are asking the people of Kenya to go back to the streets because Parliament is doing its work and is an independent institution. If they want the people of Kenya to go to the streets, they must lead by example. Because these people who want our children to go to the streets have organized and arranged for their children to go and serve in the East African Legislative Assembly in Arusha. So we are asking them, if you want street protests, it is okay. But for them to take place, let your daughter come from Arusha, let your son come from Arusha, and physically lead the demonstrations, and the rest of Kenyans can follow.
The Azimio leader says the rallies will be held in major towns across the country, starting with Nairobi.
We will then do the same thing in Mombasa. We'll do the same thing in Nakuru. We'll do the same thing in Kisumu. Do the same thing in Kakamega.
The country now waits to see what will aspire in the rallies called by Raila Odinga. Collins Lusweti, TV47, Nairobi.
Tonight, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua's number 2 slot is the target of radical constitutional changes if the Linda Ugatuzi push to amend the 2010 constitution goes through. The lobby group, in its proposed amendments, wants a deputy president barred from succeeding his boss until after 5 years on the expiry of the duo's term in office. The move, according to the group, will allow the government to serve Kenyans devoid of bitter succession wars witnessed during retired President Uhuru Kenyatta's reign.
In a radical push to amend the 2010 constitution through a popular initiative, and what will be the country's fourth attempt to amend the document after Okoa Kenya, Punguza Mzigo, and BBI initiatives, the Linda Ugatuzi lobby group flagship amendment, among others, seeks to tame the ambitions of the country's deputy presidents seeking to succeed their bosses by proposing a 5-year rest period after the expiry of the pair's 2-term in office, a move informed by the divisive second-term reign of former President Uhuru Kenyatta and his then deputy, now President William Ruto.
We are amending the constitution to disqualify someone from running for office by virtue of being a deputy president of a sitting president, and to wait for a cooling off period after his boss leaves office. The main reason there, we want him to serve the president. Actually, we are helping the current president to serve him wholeheartedly, like Joe Biden served Obama in the administration. He served Obama for 8 years, waited for cooling off period of 4 years, and that didn't stop him from being the current president of the United States of America.
In case the controversial amendment goes through, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua will have to wait until 2037 to seek the presidency, a move likely to cause divisions in Kenya Kwanza in case the Mount Kenya region settles on Gachagua as Ruto's successor.
We don't want a government that's run in parallel. It costs money. And then secondly, it does not really help to formulate policies which are helping your head of state. Thirdly, you don't learn.
Also targeted are governors who have served their 2 terms in office, with the group proposing a clause that bars the governors from contesting the senatorial seat, among other seats, citing the move as a cover-up to their misdeeds while in office.
We want an amendment whereby if you have been a governor for the last 2 terms, when you leave office, you are barred from standing or vying as a senator or any other leadership position. Because in so doing, we are actually defending thieves and corrupt officials to be held into accountability.
The group has further proposed the IEBC selection panel to be made up of representatives from the 47 counties and all the commissioners to be involved in tallying of results at the National Tallying Center. Also targeted is the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, which the group wants given prosecutorial powers, the National Government Constituency Development Fund NGCDF, which they support, a Ward Development Fund, and an increment in the allocation of county funds from 15% to 35%, as well as the creation of the office of the official opposition leader and a super senator position to represent senators' interests, among other amendments. The lobby group will launch the 1 million signature collection drive on Monday at the Bomas of Kenya and has dismissed backing from either Azimio or Kenya Kwanza. Apul Kamau, TV47.
Now, leaders from Laikipia County have called on the youth in the area to end banditry and other criminal offences being committed in the region on a day-to-day basis. According to Laikipia Governor Joshua Irungu, the area has been dragging behind other counties in terms of development due to high tension in the area, which keeps off all investors and players in the business sector. The story was produced by Andre Juma.
Speaking in Olmoran Ward, Laikipia County, Laikipia North Member of Parliament Sarah Korere promised that she will not sleep on the job. She reminds the government to provide solutions to the banditry attacks in the region.
Maneno ya usalama ya Laikipia ni aibu sana. Kwamba watu wetu watakuwa wanalia kila siku, hawajaiba shamba ya mtu, hawajaiba ng'ombe ya mtu, wanaangaishwa na watu kutoka mbali. And I want to tell you, kuna mzee aliongea hapa, hata kama nimesema sijui Kikuyu uwezi ni sengenya. Amesema watu wa Olmoran wakisukumwa Sipili mutahama hapa. So if Olmoran is not safe, Supili will not be safe.
Laikipia Governor Joshua Irungu insisted on unity within the region, saying that his government, in collaboration with the national government, will ensure that Laikipia County is peaceful and all criminal activities are eliminated.
Kwa hivyo hiyo ni jukumu moja tunataka kumhakikishia watu wetu. Tutamshunga na ile serikali tuko naye ikiongozwa na Dr. William Samoei Ruto. Amehakikishia nyinyi ya kwamba mtapata amani. Atafanya juu chini, na ndio akaagiza Profesa Kidiki Kithure aangalie na macho yote ya kwamba Laikipia County ni lazima walale wapate amani, na hii mambo ya vita kidogo hiyo akasema ni lazima ikome.
According to Governor Irungu, Laikipia County has for a long time been dragging behind other counties in terms of development due to tension caused by severe attacks by the bandits. The county has for the longest time been a field of battles between residents, bandits and security officers, with area leaders condemning the vice and asking the youth to focus and seek a better future instead of violence.
Mimi nilikuwa nataka kuuliza ofisi ya governor pamoja na provincial administration tukuwe na distribution mzuri ili tuweze kulinda watu wetu, tupate usalama na tuweze kuishi namna inavyofaa.
And still on matters beefing up security, police officers in Kiminini, Nzoia County have recovered an AK-47, 20 rounds of ammunition, police uniforms, and arrested 7 suspects thought to be behind the rampant insecurity cases in the area. Our reporter Boniface Baraza has the details.
These are Kananachi village residents in Kiminini constituency, Nzoia County, left shocked following the gun recovery from the suspects who lived amongst them. According to Matunda Location Chief Jeremiah Kibunguchi, they recovered an AK-47, 20 rounds of ammunition, police uniform, and 90 kg sacks of maize.
Tumepata jackets 2 za polisi, tumepata kofia 2 za polisi, tumepata sweta ya polisi, tumepata pingu 1. Sasa mwishowe kabla tupate pingu, ndani kulikuwa na bunduki ya AK-47 ambayo ilikuwa na risasi 20.
Locals have held the police for the arrest and accused the suspects to be behind the rampant insecurity cases in the area for terrorizing the residents.
Na kundi la vijana wamekuwa na tunawashuku kwa wizi wa kimabafu, wamekuwa wanavunja malori usiku.
Mmoja ako na umri wa miaka 14, mwingine wa miaka 15. Mvulana mmoja alikuwa na miaka 21, alafu mwingine alikuwa na miaka 17.
Hawa vijana wanatoka Matunda na wametuhangaisha kwa kijiji yetu ya Kananachi.
Kiminini Deputy County Commissioner Lumumba Mogere has confirmed the arrest of 7 suspects who will be arraigned in court for illegal possession of the rifle.
Wanne ongeza 3 wote kwa jumla ni 7. Kwa hivyo na kile ambacho kimefanya tukafika pale tumefika hapa, wasichana ambao wamekuwa wakitumika vibaya na kikundi cha vijana ndio wameweza kutuongoza mpaka pale tumefika hapa.
The arrested suspects are being held at Kitale Police Station, expected to be arraigned in court on Monday.
Wananchi ya kwamba watusaidie tupate habari mahali mtu ametorokea ili aweze kukutana na sheria, kwa sababu bunduki ni silaha haramu ikiwa kwa mikono ambayo ni haramu.
Bonfas Barasa, TV47, Kiminini Constituency, Trans Nzoia County.
And from that, Sichei Soente, a student at the Technical University of Mombasa, who was reported missing, has been found alive. Sichei, who was aspiring to be the student leader in the just concluded university elections, was reported missing on the 23rd of this month. Speaking with the media at Makupa police station, he has confirmed that he was not harmed. On the other hand, the Mombasa police commander Stephen Matu has said that investigations are ongoing and that Sichei was not abducted as alleged. He has assured the students that Sichei will be under police protection.
It's all because of elections and the way elections was carried out, and comrades feel that the elections were not carried out in the rightful manner. The elections were carried in a shambolic way, and that is why I was even issued threats, and that's why we are here, and the whole matter is under investigation of the police.
It's healthy, and more will come after our investigation, and nobody should spread rumors, false rumors that this young man was abducted by the administration of TUM, Technical University of Mombasa, all police officers.
Now, an innovative plan by the government, the International Tree Foundation, that is ITF, and Wezesha community-based organization designed to promote conservation of Dundori forest by involving communities bordering it, is rapidly turning the forest around. The collaboration has been sensitizing the over 3,600 members of Dundori Community Forest Association on climate change, offering training on afforestation initiatives and helping them to find alternative sources of livelihoods that do not destroy the forest. Chichi Josephine with that story.
For the past 2 years, the Kenya Forest Service, ITF, and Wezesha community-based organization have been incorporating locals in efforts to curb tree poaching and stem forest fires, two of the biggest threats to the resource. Through the initiative, the locals through Dundori Forest Association are now assuming a central role in environmental conservation by practicing proper agronomical practices in their homes and sourcing for other sources of timber for industrial and fuel uses.
So we partner with them in the issue of planting, maintaining, and also protecting the forest in terms of security. In case of anything, they inform the office.
The venture also aims at identifying indigenous Kenyan tree species while increasing awareness of the local communities, and to establish a seed bank with special focus on rare species, helping to increase the biodiversity of reforestation programs in Nakuru County.
And mostly they have only indigenous seedlings, but a few of exotic, but they concentrate on the indigenous seedlings. So we have different species. We have Syzygium, Podo, we have Meruok.
Sisi tunakuza miti ya indigenous na exotic. Hiyo ni kama cypress, mifao ambao tunauzia ambao wametuzungukia hapa wakulima wenzetu.
According to Mr. Aitaba, 81,500 indigenous tree seedlings have been planted in the forest in the past 3 months through the joint program.
Things have changed. At least when you go around, you see there's a lot of trees, and at the moment we don't have a backlog because most of the areas have been planted, and this is because of the assistance of the community.
The indigenous seed banking training is being facilitated by experts from Kenya Forestry Research Institute and ITF, where the concept of seed saving, sharing and banking is being emphasized to equip farmers with skills on seed saving.
There are 3 entry levels. Communities are able to provide labor for reforestation, where they get income. Communities are able to supply seedlings for reforestation program, where they get income. communities are involved in the nurturing, maintenance and sustainability of our sites, where they are engaged as community volunteers to nurture the trees and also add a social fence around the program.
ITF Programs Manager Mr. Wycliffe Matika indicates that growing more indigenous trees in the forest, besides restoring soil fertility, also have diverse uses as fodder and source of medicinal ingredients.
We are doing indigenous food security, particularly food crops that are what you can put in parentheses that are orphaned. These are drought resistant. We are able to empower communities so that they are able to restore and propagate and cultivate these fruits.
Hii mti inaitwa muiri na ni poa sana sababu ni dawa. Ni dawa ya malaria, ni dawa ya wazee. Kwa hivyo inakuwa mti demand sana, ndio tunaupenda sana.
Mr. Matika indicates that members of Dunduri Community Forest Association are also nurturing a generation of young environmental champions by encouraging the youth to channel their energy into tree planting. As an alternative to the charcoal production, the women have been trained on fruit tree planting and encouraged to embrace it.
Sisi ndio tunapanda miti ile inashikilia mvua na inatusaidia hata sisi.
Dunduri Forest covers 3,609 hectares, out of which 1,773 hectares are occupied with plantations. 1,553 hectares are under indigenous forest cover, while bushlands occupies 385 hectares. Chichi Josephine, TV 47.
Right, thank you for that, Chichi Josephine. Now, the Port of Mombasa has received this year's maiden cruise vessel, MV World Odyssey. Today, this is the first cruise vessel to be handled at the port since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic in March 2020. The ship will dock for 5 days at the Mombasa port. It is expected to boost the region's economy as the tourists seek to explore Kenya.
The World Odyssey, this year's maiden cruise vessel since the strike of the COVID-19 pandemic, docked at the Mombasa port with 800 tourists, most being university students who are cruising around the world.
We've been sailing for like 3 months now almost, and we're excited to be in Kenya. We were in Morocco a couple months ago, so we're back in Africa, and we're just excited to see the country and the city and experience the culture and meet all you guys.
And we're taking university classes and we're going around the country. We're going around basically the whole world. We just did Europe and now we're in Kenya.
Its arrival is expected to boost the region's tourist economy and many other businesses that had since been affected by travel restrictions across the world.
Tunashukuru sana kwa sababu tumekuwa manyumbani kwa zaidi ya miaka miwili, na kuja kwa meli hii ya watalii ni mwamko mpya kwa sekta ya utalii.
And we are doing every single effort to turn every stone to make sure that we're going to receive the right numbers and the high numbers in this country.
The Tourism, Wildlife and Heritage Cabinet Secretary Penina Malonza has lauded the establishment of a new vessel terminal at the Mombasa port, citing that it will facilitate the docking of more passenger ships in the country and in return boost the lost tourism glory.
And therefore, it's a very good start for us and a very good kick for us as a bay and as a terminal. This is a terminal that is going to be receiving more of the crews coming here.
We are well equipped. We have got all the facilities that are needed to welcome the visitors into the country. We have got customs, we have security installations, and the next stage is for us is to continue branding and marketing this as a destination for the tourist, for this segment of the tourist industry.
Milton Mzee, a tour guide, recommends that the government should establish favorable conditions that will make tourism less expensive in the country to attract more foreigners interested in exploring Kenya's diverse culture and nature.
Kwa hivyo tunashukuru na tunaomba pia serikali waweze kuweka mikakati bora na rahisi na wapunguze zile kodi zingine wanatoza watalii, ndio gharama ya utalii ikuwe nafuu kidogo kwa watalii, ndio tupate watalii wengi.
The World Odyssey will depart Mombasa on 2nd December. The arrival of the maiden cruise ship in Mombasa since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic is expected to boost this region's economy as well as to restore the glory of the country as a tourist destination. Paul Muniu, TV47, Mombasa.
TV47, the home of untold stories.
Chachisha mechi. Chachisha Mechi. Catch all the 64 games live from Qatar on GOtv Super. Get your GOtv decoder for only 1,999 Kenya shillings. GOtv. Love it.
You've got your trouble. How well do you know what's happening around you? Morning Cafe with heated political debates. Baraza la Siasa.
Hiyo kitu azungumzie, angalie hali ya maisha ya watu.
Informative health discussions. Business, farming. Tasty Wednesday, Fitness Thursday, and Feel Good Friday with amazing DJs, celebs,
waimbaji, kuna comedians, alafu kuna wajinga,
and music bands. Every Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. How well do you know what's happening around you? Morning Cafe with heated political debates. Baraza la Siasa.
Hiyo kitu azungumzie, angalie hali ya maisha ya watu.
Informative health discussions. Business, farming. Tasty Wednesday, Fitness Thursday, and Feel Good Friday with amazing DJs.
They had to tell us to keep it down. Na sasa, it's that time again. The time for us to step up. Tuwakumbushe why Waafrika wana shine kwa ligi za majuu. So if you love football, love Africa. Cheer Africa. Africa ni sisi.
It has over 80,000 members, with its presence felt through 10 branches in Kiambu and Nairobi, with an asset base of 4 billion Kenya shillings.
TaiSacco was founded way back in 1992 by tea farmers.
We decided to change the name from Kiambu Tea Growers Sacco now to TaiSacco, so that we can be able to bring on board other sectors, civil servants, teachers.
We have the M-banking service. Our members can be able to transact at the comfort of their homes.
We have some in the US, Dubai, in the UK as well.
Tai is the Kiswahili name for eagle. It has focus.
Sikuwa na mashini hata moja, tulikuwa tunaosha na mikono. I was able kupata loan ya kwanza 80,000, nikanunua mashini ya kwanza.
Nilienda nikapewa pesa ya loan, nikanunua ng'ombe, nikaongeza sababu nilikuwa na moja.
TaiSacco was that year's journey has been a game changer to all our members.
We got 40 million from Tai with easy payment terms. I will not hesitate to recommend Tai to any business person.
Hey!
Kaluma King Herbal Lozenges zinazo nguvu maradufu kutuliza kikohozi, vidonda vya koo na mafua. Kaluma King ni shwari.
Tika mama huyo muharifu kaiba kuku zangu, vifaranga wangu na mayai zote pia kabeba. Aya, tika mama huyo.
Maumivu yakizidi, muone daktari.
Brand new shows this month. Add some drama to your life with a young convict as he seeks redemption.
Work hard to go home to your friends and your family sooner.
Revel in this dramatized docu-series about the legends of Wall Street.
Greed is healthy.
and bear witness to some of life's most embarrassing hair disorders.
All I wanted to do was be a normal teenager.
Get all the brand new shows by getting and staying connected to DStv.
Hey!
Kaluma King Herbal Lozenges zinazo nguvu maradufu kutuliza kikohozi, vidonda vya koo na mafua. Kaluma King ni shwari.
Tika mama huyo muharifu kaiba kuku zangu, vifaranga wangu na mayai zote pia kabeba. Haya, tika mama huyo.
Maumivu yakizidi, muone daktari.
Win big with TV47 and win Lotto. All you need to do is watch TV47 and send 50 shillings to the paybill number 328328. Account name TV47 to enter the draw. The more you play, the higher your chances of winning if you send 50 shillings to the paybill number 328328. Account name TV47. Win Lotto. Everyone's a winner. Remember, send 50 shillings to the paybill number 328328. Account name TV47 and win with TV47 and win Lotto. This has been authorized by the Betting Control and Licensing Board of Kenya. BCLB number 000885. Play responsibly, not for people under the age of 18.
Sona moja imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli ili kupambana na maumivu kwa haraka. Sona moja ina aspirin kama kiungo. Sona moja, kitulizo kamili. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
The secret to an instant glow and spotless skin. Acne C10 is a 10% pure vitamin C serum that effectively fades dark spots and clears dark patches. With a unique formulation, it is quickly absorbed deep into the skin to give optimal results. Acne C10, 10% pure vitamin C serum, safe on all skin types.
Usiyakubalie maumivu ya misuli kukatiza ratiba yako. Kaluma Pain Balm ni dawa ya kusugua iliyotengenezwa kutoka kwa miche maalum ili kutuliza maumivu ya misuli. Kaluma Pain Balm. Shhh. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
Sisi ndio tunabeba swag hadi ndani ya pitch. Sisi ndio the fastest, the biggest, the strongest. They wonder why. Time waliland kucheza ball na nati, sisi tulikuwa mguu chuma. Ball ni sisi na sisi ni ball. It has always been a part of us. We are passionate, so loud, they had to tell us to keep it down. Na sasa, it's that time again. The time for us to step up. Tuwakumbushe why Waafrika wanashine kwa ligi za majuu. So if you love football, love Africa. Cheer Africa. Africa ni sisi.
You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories.
It's in 37 minutes past the top of the hour. Thank you for staying with us right here at TV47 Weekend. And to a special feature tonight, impunity, shortcuts, cheap labor, material, poor workmanship and corruption during the construction are the leading causes of the collapsing of multi-story buildings in the country, according to a report by National Construction Authority. Now, in less than a month, at least 4-story buildings have collapsed in Kiambu and Nairobi counties, the end result being loss of lives and property. TV47's Mwege William paints a picture of the devastating state of affairs that collapsed buildings are leaving behind. Take a look.
A police officer stationed at the Ruiru police station did not turn a blind eye to a crack he had noticed on a residential building, and his bold decision to report the matter saved hundreds of lives, with the building crumbling down hours after swift evacuation of all tenants.
There is no one inside. And come down with everyone.
The incident is not an isolated one, with 4 buildings in a span of a month collapsing in different parts of Nairobi's metropolitan areas. In some instances, the incidents claiming lives. Both Nairobi's and Kiambu's leadership have swung into action in a bid to stem the menace. Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja has since reconstituted the Nairobi County Urban Planning Technical Committee that is responsible of approving buildings. But this is not a new threat to Kenyans' lives, with a report released in 2022 by the National Construction Authority stating that in a span of 5 years, more than 85 buildings have collapsed. And in the same period, an estimated 200 persons have lost their lives and over 1,000 injured as a result. All these, according to experts, boiling down to shortcuts, poor workmanship, and impunity at the construction stages. But at the height of impunity, are government officials who benefit, innocent persons are left counting losses, lost lives, and livelihoods, as well as many questions. Just who will the questions be directed to? On the 15th of November this year, Naomi Nyongesa was patiently waiting for her husband Moses Juma, a construction fundi, to be back home as she had some important issues to discuss with him. But a news story on TV about a collapsed building in Kasarani made her worried, prompting her to make several calls to the husband. But the calls went unanswered.
Jioni ilipofika mimi nikarudi kwa nyumba, nikaanza kuprepare sapa. Kidogo kufungua TV nikasikia hapo Kasarani nyumba imeanguka. Sasa akili yangu ikakimbia, nikajiuliza, na hiyo area ndio yenye mume wangu anafanya, ni nyumba gani hiyo imeanguka? Sasa juu ilikuwa ni usiku, nikashindwa venye nitafanya, nikashindwa nitaenda aje na sipajui. Nikapigia brother-in-law simu, nikamuelezea, akaniambia shemeji, ngojea asubuhi ikifika tutajua ni wapi. But hiyo usiku nilishinda nikicall simu yake, ilikuwa tu inaitana, hakuna mwenye anachukua.
Naomi remained calm and bold, expecting some good news from the site of the ill-fated 7-story building that was under construction. Unfortunately for her, the news was not good.
Sasa vile nilifika hapo, nikafinya namba yake, nikaitania hapo, simu ilikuwa kwa box. Sasa ndio wakaanza kuniambia kama ni mtu wa hii simu, sidhani kama ameumia. Kama ni kuumia, ameumia tu kiasi, but hajaumia sana. Watu wenye tumetoa tumekimbiza hospitali. Nilipokuwa nimeketi tu pale, na kuna kazi ni ya mzee wangu, kidogo akakuja anapiga nduru. Sasa mimi venye niliona anapiga nduru nashtuka, nikashtuka ni nini inaendelea. Anasema Musa amekufa. Hapo ndio nilitambua mzee wangu hayuko.
The 33-year-old mother of 3, now left with the burden to school and cater for her children, reveals that her husband once told her the building had been marked unsafe, but because of the meager income the two were making at the time and the scarcity of jobs, Juma could not dare quit the job, all because of safety issues.
Nasema tu, mimi kitu aliniambia tu kazi iko hapo ni mzito sana. Na hiyo mjengo imewekwa X. Hivyo tu.
So what happens if a building under construction is marked unsafe? Kamau Moshai, a contractor in the building and construction industry for close to 10 years, says the Kasarani incident could have been avoided, explaining the follow-up actions that will have been taken after the relevant authorities realized it was unsafe.
Ukiwa X, unafaa, unaenda una make sure umefika to the level yenye walikuwa wanataka, ama vitu zote zenye wanatakanga umetikiwa zote, ndio tena wana release, unaendelea na kujenga. But most of these people, si unaenda unapatiana kitu kidogo, nyumba yako wewe unaendelea na kazi. Hao watu wenye walikuwa wamekuwekea X hao hawayuko, jua wanajua vizuri walishafanya kazi yao, wewe umepeana kitu kidogo, shida inabaki kwako. So nyumba yenye imewekwa X na inaendelea na kujengwa na NCA hawaja approve, inamaanisha kuna shida fulani kubwa sana na huyo client, ndio afai kuendelea na kujenga.
Even with the persons responsible for the construction of the Kasarani building face law enforcement agencies, Naomi, now a widow, questions what next for her and her family, which has been dealt a huge blow by the passing on of the head of their family.
Niko na watoto wako shule, hata tulikuwa tujakilia school fees. Nyumba yenyewe iko hapo inafaa nilipe, sijalipa. Sasa mimi naomba tu kama serikali inasikiza, inisaidie nijue watoto nitalea aje. Juu mwenye alikuwa tegemeo ametoka. Yes, nitazoea lakini sio rahisi hivyo. So, naomba tu serikali inisaidie. At least nijue venye hao watoto wangu watasoma na nijue venye nitaishi.
The ill-fated Kasarani building did not only claim the life of Juma, but those of a few others. A lady only identified as Shiro was also crushed to death by the falling building.
Shiro alikuwa amegongwa kichwa, ilikuwa imebondeka side moja, and one of the eyes ilikuwa imepop out totally. She had a broken hand. I'm not sure which one, but there was a broken hand and broken leg. That was the situation. Plus the body of Shiro ilikuwa imefura.
Shiro had gone to deliver food to construction workers at the site, as she was accustomed to, oblivious of the danger ahead.
Shiro is a young girl. I can show you from the photos that I have. She's 22 years old. She has left behind a kid that is 1 year. Just 1 year. Alikuwa amekuja Nairobi kumhasoria.
She was laid to rest on the 23rd of November at her home in Laikipia County, leaving behind a child.
Sisi hatuna maneno mingi. We can only ask you people to ask Honorable Sakaja. He's the governor of Nairobi, the guy we gave work. I voted for that man. And I'm only requesting, if you are able to reach him through this news, you could ask if we can get whether there is anything, if he's doing anything for us to have that compensation or something of the sort from the owner of the building, because the owner of the building is on the run. The DCI was trying to tell us, I don't know, he is in the US. You know, that is not for us.
While in a span of 2 weeks, 4 buildings have collapsed, some claiming lives. The story of the collapsed story building in Ruiru is different. Its tenants living to tell the story of how they escaped death by a whisker. Were it not for a police officer stationed here at Ruiru Police Station, the situation here could have been different. Right now, it is the retrieval of properties. Maybe it could have been worse, the retrieval of bodies.
Sasa ningekuwa maiti, nyama ziokoteki, sijulikane ni nini. Yeah, hivyo.
Hapo sasa hii ploti ingeumiza watu wengi. Juu iko na more than 100 residents. Yeah. Ingeumiza watu wengi sana. Juu kama si huyo mwenye aliona, of which mimi nasema tu ni Mungu alimguide. Tunashukuru tu Mungu. Juu tungelala hapo, juu for us, okay. Mzee wangu akitoka aende kazi, juu mimi nilikuwa kwa kanisa, alinitext nikiwa church. Akaniambia hii plot ameacha watu wakiangalia cracks. So nikitoka kanisa niende nitafute nyumba tuame Monday. So for us tulikuwa tulale kwa hiyo nyumba hiyo Sunday. Sema tu ni Mungu alituokoa.
On the 21st of November, the 5-story building collapsed hours after its tenants were ordered to vacate. The building, which is just opposite Ruiru police station, had visible cracks just days before its caving in.
Tuliwapa na security ilikuwa sawa, so siku anataka kwenda mbali sana. Ndio maana nikaingia kwa hiyo nyumba. So hata nikipata makosa ile ya stima ama nini, yule mzee nikimpigia siku moja nini, haezi chukulia ile, hakuwa anachukulia zile mambo stato serious. So hii kutendeka, I don't know. I think pia hiyo ignorance imechangia kwake. Kitu ya kwanza stima. Stima ulikuwa unaenda ukiwakisha shower unapigwa na shock ukizima hiyo maji. Maji ikiwa na breakage mahali hiyo yeye haoni kama big deal. Huko tu mlipe mwisho wa mwezi, that's all. So hata mimi makosa yangu kukaa hapa nilikuwa ni ile tulikuwa tumeshazoeana naye ile mzee. Yaani unaona huyu ni mzee, mmezoeana naye.
Kuna polisi mmoja juu tuko opposite police station ya Ruiru. Kuna polisi mmoja alienda juu hiyo crack kulikuwa kumewekwa kitu inakaa mbao, akatoa akaenda akaripoti. Ndio sasa maaskari wengine wakakuja wakaandikisha, then wakarundi sasa kuambia watu waame. For those wenye walikuwa kwa nyumba hiyo mchana yote, at least kuna wenye walimanage kutoa vitu zote.
The client should be responsible, the engineers should be responsible, county should be responsible, regulatory authorities hizi kama NCA zinafaa zikuwe responsible. Hakuna mtu anafaa achiliwe, inafaa investigatiwe from design to implementation. Hadi saa zile nyumba ilianguka, nani hakufanya kazi yake? You can easily know mtu hakufanya kazi yake. If it's the structural engineer, utakuja uangalie hizi columns zenye zilikuwa zimewekwa kwa hii nyumba, can they bear the load that hiyo nyumba ilikuwa imewekelewa? Unaona? If it's the regulation ama regulatory authorities, ukienda kwa site upate ni vitu different na what was brought to your nini, unaona? Mbona mlikubali waendelee na kazi, unaona? You find that unapata hata nyumba imewekwa X na bado inaendelea tu.
The former tenants of the building have since relocated but continue to stream in at the site, at least to see if they can salvage some of their properties. With the owner of the building later being arraigned in court, Ruiru Principal Magistrate Ms. Jane Agonda allowed a miscellaneous application for the state to have Stephen Ngaroya Getau, the owner of the building, remanded for 7 days for police to complete investigations.
So the police are seeking time to conclude investigations. This is well within their mandate. The suspects are charged with, are suspected to have committed serious offences. This is a matter of great public interest as the lives of the general public are at risk. I note the various stakeholders will be involved in the investigations, and in the interest of justice, I shall grant the police a period of 10 days to complete investigations and prefer necessary charges. And so the respondents will be detained at Karori police station.
Still in Kiambu County, in an early morning incident on the 17th of November, a couple died after a building under construction in Ruaka, Kiambu County, collapsed on their house early morning. The 6-story building at Old Ruaka Road came down at around 3:30 a.m. as the man and woman were asleep at their iron sheet house adjacent to the construction site.
Wamekuja hapa, wanapeana pesa, nyumba inajengwa. It's been condemned quite a number of times.
The National Construction Authority has since released a report detailing causes of building collapsing. Many of the cases were mainly due to technical issues such as substandard materials and lack of quality assurance. Other factors were ignorance of the law and regulations, inadequate laws, poor coordination, lack of proper material testing tools, and poor construction supervision, among others. Kamau Mushai alluding to the fact that there is a lot of corruption and impunity in the construction industry.
Ni kutriki sana. I would urge, kabla ununue hata kama ni chuma, chukua hiyo chuma, peleka lab, confirm tensile strength ya hiyo chuma. Kama ni simiti, mix nayo ile class umeambiwa, peleka hiyo kitu kwa lab so that you are able to know material gani mzuri na gani mbaya. Kwa sababu wenyewe hata saizi hata zenye tunajenga nazo huku hivi, kuna mahali penye unatoa mawe soft na kuna mahali unatoa mawe ngumu. Nyumba zisimamishwe bana. Kama watu wanakata shortcut, inafaa isimame na isimame na isimame. Watu wenye wanakula hongo, juu kuna watu wanakula hongo, washikwe na wakuwe arraigned in court, juu ni kunoma bana. Uwezi kuwa ati watu wengi wenye wako kwa mjengo ni wenye wako hand to mouth. So hata mtu akianguka na amekufa immediately, kabla watu wapate hata doa gathe waweze kupeleka hata mtu nyumbani, na kwa tricky sana.
Whereas questions have since arisen on the structural integrity of buildings being erected in the country, developers seem to capitalize on the housing shortage in the country to hastily and incautiously erect buildings for occupancy. Records by the World Bank note that Kenya has a housing deficit of at least 2 million houses, which increase by around 200,000 units every year. It is this business opportunity that has seen millionaire investors pump in money in the industry with the hope of getting good returns on investment. Whereas a significant number of investors follow the right channel in putting up their commercial structures, some opt for shortcuts and substandard building materials and labor to quickly finish their projects, ignoring the dangers involved.
And that is why we are encouraging investors, let's make use of developers who are known, and developers who are making use of professionals like us, Mrs. Africa Homes Limited, so that we walk the journey. Do not risk your hard-earned money. You find that a majority of investors, some of them, they feel the few coins they have to pay to the professionals or the contractors, professional contractors who are professional, is too much. So they decide to take fundis and just go direct into the construction without having that crucial stage. That crucial stage of the foundation, before the work begins, that is where there is a lot of, there needs to be a lot of focus, and that is where there is the key.
Chairperson of the Association of Consulting Engineers, Engineer Patrick Simiu, notes that there is an increase of quacks and ill-trained construction workers in Kenya's building and construction sector, which more than often exposes non-compliance with building standards.
If you have engineers available for your service, and we are not utilizing those services in the numbers that we have, why would we be spending a lot of money training people for 5 years, undertaking them through competency for another 3 years for them to become professional engineers, and then we are not able to utilize them? If you went to hospital and then you are told you want to see a doctor, and whoever comes to attend to you is a cleaner, as a patient, will you continue with that particular service?
Standard comes with foundation. The foundation is the most important thing in construction. And this is something that we as Mizizi have noted, most of the customers do not actually understand. You have placed your money and you are just waiting for the end product. And you find that most people are just attracted with the finishings. And the finishings at times, they may be very appealing, but you find that the quality and the standard is on the foundation.
An audit report by the National Construction Authority (NCA) on the collapse of buildings in Kenya places the blame on poor workmanship and non-compliance to standards. The report says 10,791 out of the 14,895 buildings were marked as unsafe for occupancy and needed either reinforcement or demolition. Notably, 65% of collapsed buildings were residential, while 25% were commercial. Another 10% were mixed-use developments.
Many players in the built industry do not appreciate the role of professional engineers in the design of those particular buildings, and more importantly, in the supervision of those buildings. We have qualified engineers licensed to be able to carry out those supervision, but I can tell you the developers have turned a blind eye on the professionalism, and they are turning to quacks, they are turning to unlicensed artisans, they are turning to unlicensed craftsmen to be able to undertake these very professional activities. And therefore there's no professionalism, there's no lay emphasis on standards. And this one has really caused us in the collapse of building that you have seen in the recent past, mainly in Kiambu.
You need to engage the engineer to supervise the project after the design. So it's a question of wanting to cut corners, it's a question of not wanting to pay professionals. It's also a question of simply imagining that the professionals are not required or they're not necessary, and you can do away with them. And so we must address the issues from the root cause. We must regulate the developer.
If there is no that working together, if there is no that harmony, if there is not that working together, that is why there is a lot of problem and a lot of blame work. Because you may blame the investor may say, me, I had the money or I got the money, I invested, I gave professionals that work. So the thing here is professionals. Professionals are the people who need to be accountable. Professionals are the people who are to advise and advise as it is.
The NCA report further revealed that 66% of the buildings collapsed after completion, while 34% collapsed during construction. In a case a building collapses, the owner of the project is taken into custody as the investigations into whether or not he or she evaded rightful procedures continues. Moige William, TV 47.
Indeed, some heights of impunity, quite sad state of affairs, and hopefully the authorities will take charge on those who are actually misusing their powers and all that. Now, to some matters, and in case you actually missed all that, the heights of impunity, you can take a look at that on our social media platforms and YouTube, right at TV 47 Kenya. Now to the wonderful world of sports. Kariobangi Sharks came from a goal down to register a 3-2 win against Ulinzi Stars in the match day 2 of the FKF Premier League played at the Kasarani Annex ground. Boniface Mashuri opened the scoring in the half-hour mark before Kevin Musimali equalized 5 minutes later before Fortune Moto and Tyson Otieno scored the second and third goal for the Kariobangi Sharks at the 42nd and 44th minute as Hilary Simiu scored the second goal for Ulinzi Stars, and Sharks held on to a 3-2 win. Elsewhere, defending champions Tusker defeated Nairobi City Stars 4-1 at the Ruaraka grounds.
Okay, siwezi sema ati ni motisha, but na feel their fighting spirit tuweze ipushia kutoka hapo, itakuwa fine kwa sababu there are still so many games to come, so from here tunaweza tukipiga hizo positives, na feel hiyo itakuwa ni drive enough. This game imekuwa drive enough to the next games.
And to the game of kings, Muthaiga Golf Club's Greg Snow earlier today grabbed a one-shot lead in a tough opening round of the 2022 Safari Tour third leg at the Par 72 PGA Baobab course of Vipingo Ridge Resort in Cliffy County. Snow shot level Par 72 in a tough day that saw players shooting under par scores before dropping shots elsewhere. And just like during the Kenya Amateurs Stroke Play Championship, the David Jones designed course proved that it was the most difficult course in the country. Speaking during the competition, Greg Snow explained how tough the course is despite picking an early birdie at the second hole and his second at the fifth before the double bogey at the eighth. And at the matches, Lawi Kosgei clocked 1 hour and 1 minute 49 seconds to win the 21-kilometer of the inaugural Kenya Autism Marathon held at the Nyayo Stadium. Lawi crossed the finish line ahead of Meshak Lelgut and Victor Chepkwony, who clocked a time of 1 hour, 1 minute and 51 seconds and 1 hour, 2 minutes and 32 seconds respectively. Meanwhile, in the ladies category, Mumbua clocked 1 hour, 10 minutes, 27 seconds to cross the finish line ahead of Lilian Chebi and Beatrice Cherubet, who clocked 1 hour, 10 minutes, 56 seconds and 1 hour, 10 minutes, 50 seconds respectively.
Nafurahia ni mbio yangu ya pili kukimbia half marathon hapa Kenya, na nafurahi sana kuwa nambari la kwanza. Inanipea changamoto ya kuweza kufanya poa zaidi kwa mbio zingine zinazokuja mbeleni.
It means a lot. Juu hata nikitoka home nilikuwa tunatarajia kuibuka mshindi kulingana na venye nimetrain na kulingana na experience yenye niko nayo ya mbio yenye nimekimbia.
Right, and definitely some 4 minutes past 10 p.m. and whatever I'm wearing definitely tells you that TV47's Country Ride is coming